Hello, everyone. How are we doing? Please let me know if you can see me and if you can hear me. Okay. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Okay. How we all doing? How's our Sunday, Abby? How's our Sunday going? I trust that we had a great day. Okay. Please let me know how you're doing, your name and where you're joining us from. Good evening, Ifoma. Please, your name and where you're joining from. That would be nice. Your name and where you're joining from. Ojo Chenemi, joining from Kogi State. Nice. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Do we have more people that would want to introduce themselves? Blessing joining from Lafia. Thank you. Ojo Chide from Guzapi. That's my best friend there, oh, aside from my husband. Chioma from Enugu State. Um, Ifoma from Lagos. My day went well. Joyce from Abuja. Perpetua. Please, if I missed you, sorry. Oluchuku Esther from Ebonyi State. Teresa from Abuja. Bukola from Abuja. Um, Deborah from South Africa. Thank you. She was actually the first to join. Thank you, Deborah. I saw that you joined first. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm just doing this so that more people can join in. Um, I'm having a little difficulty setting it for everyone to be able to join. I don't know why, but I'm just manually accepting people as they join, which is not the best. Okay, I'll be starting exactly 5:05. But while we're here, please let's continue introducing ourselves. Let's see where you're joining us from, your name and where you're joining us from. If you've not introduced yourself already, or if I missed you, please. Perpetua from Abuja, I think I said that. Joyce, Chioma, Ifoma, Ojochide, okay. Debbie, Blessing, Favor from Abuja, Inumidu from Redemption City, Ogun State. Yes. Faith from Abia State. I like the fact that we have different people from different places joining. I think that's really nice. I wish I could just set it for everybody to join in the sense of instead of admitting individually, because I know I do that on my office laptop. I don't know why. Uh, okay, I think it's 1 minute for us to join, for us to start officially, and I'm just giving people the benefits of a minute. Okay, okay, okay. So thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you. I need to mute. Okay. Thank you all for joining. And I believe that we're going to have an amazing time today. I truly believe because I took my time to do the research and I also will be sharing from my own personal experience. And I believe that something that I will share would actually be of something that I share would make sense to you. Something that I share would definitely make sense to you, and I'm sure you can apply that to your own life. So the topic for today would be emotional intelligence, boundaries, and relationships. And I want to tell you that the person that is talking to you here, like I used to be a, an emotional wreck, let's just say, because like I would have my emotions up today, down tomorrow, up today, down tomorrow. And it was just that whole thing. And I remember growing up, I used to write like maybe when something happens, and I will now get like a note and I would write in the notes what happened to me and all that. I'll write poems, I'll be feeling bad and all those things. And then growing up, getting married, having children, like the whole swing. So for everybody here, because I know that when I look at the kind of people that we have singles, we have married, we have students, we have people that are working. We just have different people, different kinds of people here. So I'm hoping that something that I would share would be of value to you. So our session for today would be for 2 hours in total. Um, we would have 10 minutes for welcome, which is what we're doing. And then we would have, okay, and then we'll have 5 minutes for pictures, which will be definitely less than that, my presentation, and then we'll ask our questions. So I'll be starting like this. Who is this mentorship for? So the mentorship is for women of all ages. Like I said, no matter how old you are or how young you are, definitely there's something that you can learn. And if you also put your thoughts in the chat, I know I would also learn from you as well. If you think that there's someone that might need to be part of this, please feel free to share the link with them, or you can um, share the YouTube link. I might not be able to share the link now because we've started already, but anybody that needs to join can share, can join the YouTube link also if they are not able to, because I know some people mentioned that they were not able to join on Zoom, but they joined via YouTube. Okay, so I'll say that this mentorship is focused on guidance, mentorship, and the transfer of knowledge, values, skills, and strategies. So my goal is to guide women into becoming skilled, confident, and impactful women as much as I can. Um, so last month, which was January, I shared about this. And so I'm not going to talk about it. I would say that if you need to get the background of becoming a skilled, confident, and impactful woman, just go to my YouTube channel, Juliana Imam, and you can watch this part. So I talked about where the journey began for me and how it can begin for you if you want to also, first of all, introspection. So I took a lot of time to, not like I separated that time actually, but somehow I was able to find time, pockets of time to think about what I was doing, why I was doing what I was doing, and how I could become a better person. So first of all, introspection, and then mindset transformation, working on my mind and reading books, attending seminars and all that to become a better person. And then I also just added this too, which is a definite decision to become. So some people are stuck in the cycle of just trainings and trainings, but they have not made the conscious decision to become someone who is skilled, someone who is confident, and someone who is impactful. So that decision must be made. And finally, a corresponding action. So we have many people that have made a decision, but they've not taken any action. Some people are paralyzed with information. So we must try to step out of just processing. And like, I don't think it's anybody's fault because some people are more of processors. So if you have someone who is a phleg, for example, because there are different personality types, there is sanguines, there are cholerics, melancholy, and phlegmatic. So if you have so if you are a phleg, it's possible that you might think about things a lot before you want to get everything in place before you actually go into execution mode. So for those kind of people, I would say try to pair yourself with an action-oriented person so that you can start going into action. So you can watch my YouTube channel for more information. I will now go to the next slide. You know me already, and I believe that's why you're here. I'm Juliana. I'm an IP lawyer, entertainment and sports lawyer in Nigeria. I'm the founder of Gypsy Academy and Stammer Foundation Nigeria. I serve as the Women and Youth Project Assistant at the United Nations WIPO Academy, IP e-learning section, where I lead the Project 1% for Africa initiative. Several of the initiatives that I've worked on so far have gotten across to over 10,000 people across several African countries. I've written 2 books, Rewards of Consistency and The Wake Up Call. I was part of the pioneer set for the American Music Mentorship Program 2024. I was also the second vice chair of the IP of the Nigerian Bar Association IP committee in 2024. I am an alumni of the Abuja Global Shapers, which is a community under the World Economic Forum. I received an award from the Copyright Commission, Nigerian Copyright Commission, I think in 2023. And I'm a member of the Recording Academy, which is Grammy Awards. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a speaker, I'm a mediator, I'm a podcaster. So this is what I do. Some people ask me, how am I able to merge all these things together? I try my best. So I'll be asking the question quickly. And my question is, first of all, I would say that this is a safe space. So feel free to put in the chat your questions and all the things that cross your mind while this session is ongoing. If there's anything I say that is a light bulb moment for you, please put it in the chat. We're here to grow. I'm also here to grow. Everything I'm doing here is majorly like the first time I'm doing something for women. So I'm also growing. And I'm not here to judge. So please don't judge me so much. There was a reading assignment that was given for everyone who registered. And I would like you to just put in the chat if you read any of the books or any portion of the book. So if you read the book or any portion of the book, please just put it in the chat. I would like to, Perpetua says Shepherd's Love. Thank you. So if you read the book or any part of the book, please just put it in the chat. I just want to know that we are together. While I'm saying this, I'm remembering a song that my parents used to sing. We are together again, we are together again. So please, if you have read the book or any part of the book, please just put it in the chat. I have read the book, and just put the title of the book you've read or the portion from the title of the book that you have read. Okay, almost done with recognizing wake-up calls. I've read both books. Thank you, Chioma. Adebimpe, I've read a portion of recognizing wake-up calls. I've read the rewards of consistency and currently wake-up calls. I've read part of both books. Okay, please let's put our names in the chat so that when I'm reading your comments, I can see who I'm with. Okay, thank you, Justina. She has finished reading Wake Up Calls. Sholaja Adeola, I am reading Recognizing Wake Up Calls. I have read the book Rewards of Consistency, Joyce Irabo. Okay, so how many of us used the consistency and accountability documents? I know it's not easy because even for me, like I try to fill it in the night and sometimes I get tired. So I'll now have to fill it the next day. So have anybody used the consistency and accountability document to help you track what you're doing daily? I showed everybody my own documents and I asked people during the last session if there was anything that, if you were going to work with everything or if you would pick out some things. How many of us have used the document? Please just put it in the chat. How many of us have used it? If you have used it, say I've used it. If you've not used it, say I've not used it. I've used it, I've used it. Okay, thank you. So before I go into the session for today, I would like to get like just one sentence, like your takeaway from the last meeting. And while we are putting our takeaway for the last meeting, I would like to mention that the testimonial form, I checked it, and I think out of over 70 people that joined the last time, only 7 people filled the testimonial form. Please fill the testimonial form. That's how you encourage me, first of all. Second, Secondly, the certificate that will be given to those that fill the certificates form. Sorry, that fill the testimonials, because those are the people that are giving me feedback. All right, thank you. So I'll be going so that we can move on. Picture time. Please feel free to put your cameras on. Let's take pictures. Let's take pictures. Let's take pictures. I'll stop sharing because I want to see your faces. So please, let's take pictures. You can take your screenshots from your end. I remember that some people took their screenshots and they sent it to me actually. Just take the screenshot of the laptop or the phone so that we can have everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Please smile. Oh my God. Thank you. I can see the smiles. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Please take your screenshots so that by the time we're like seeing in future and you're saying, oh, I was part of this, you can show proof. Me, if I can show proof. Because some people will see you, they will not even talk to you. So me, if I see your face, I can now say, I know this person. I'll now show you your own picture. All right. We're going to start now. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to start now. Okay. So our topic for today is emotional intelligence, boundaries, and relationships. And first of all, I would like to define what an emotion is. So an emotion is a feeling inside your body and your mind that guides your decision making, your relationships, and your survival. You know, sometimes we feel like, oh, maybe I'm feeling sad. Am I supposed to feel sad? Or am I supposed to be feeling happy when some other people are sad? You know, some people are even happy and they feel guilty to celebrate their wins because somebody beside them is maybe not happy. So those feelings that we have when we get married, when we give birth to our children, when we have a promotion, when we see someone that we love, when our children come and they put their cheeks close to us, when there's a win in the office, or when there's a football match and somebody scores or something, those are emotions. So it can be expressed as happiness, fear, anger, sadness, excitement, love. It's when something happens. For example, um, it says that when something happens, like your brain will quickly decide whether it's safe, whether it's scary, whether it's fun, and all, and then your body will now react to it. Do you know that there are some times that your mind will be telling you something and your body will physically be shaking, or you might be in tears, like physical tears will come out, like tears of joy or tears of, I don't know, emotions and all that. So for me, one of the things that I see a lot, when I'm happy, when I'm very happy, I cry. How many people cry here? Maybe let me see if I have fellow criers, because for me, like when I'm very happy, I cry. When I'm very sad, I cry. Like as the emotion is coming, I follow it with cry. So most times I cry. And I remember I saw my mom yesterday and she was saying that, me, I'm a cry person, and that my husband too used to cry. So two of us, we cry. Hey, Esther said, I cry when I'm laughing. Why not? So some of us, like, that is how we express our emotions. There was, when I first got my job, the first months when I'll be in the office, I was actually quarreling with some people at that point. Like I love those people, but I was quarreling with them. So whenever something good happens in the office, like I will want to gist with them and I will not be able to gist with them. And I will just burst out crying. Imagine in an office or official office, and I will now be crying. So recently I went back to my office and I was just speaking to my boss and I told my boss that do you know why I used to cry that time when I came to the office? And he was like, that I used to make him scared though. When I would come and I would not start crying sometimes because there was a picture of my birthday when he took me out on my birthday. And while he was saying, "Oh, thank you, Juliana, for all you do and all that," and he was like, "Okay, you can take what you like and all that," I just started crying. And he was confused, like, how is it that I'm celebrating you and then you now burst into tears? He just passed tissue to me. And it was not like I was not happy with what he was doing or I wanted to make the moment sad. No, but I was just thinking about wanting to gist these people after what happened, and I could not gist them, and so I just started crying. So that's emotion for you. And for some people, they don't cry as much. Like my mom, I remember when we lost our dad in 2020, in 2004, and my mom did not cry. I knew that she was feeling the pain because she was losing weight physically, but she did not cry out. And some of us, that's how we handle our emotions. We are we feel the emotions, but we trap it inside. And so, how many of us are trappers here? How many of us are expert at trapping our emotions? I would say that for me, when that was somehow, I think a good thing for me was when I was giving birth. My mother used to say that when she was giving birth, she did not. Somebody said, "I cry when someone offend me, and I can't take revenge." That's true. That's true. Sincerely, it's so painful. It's so painful. It's so painful. I can't trap. I cry when I'm happy. I cry when I'm sad. I usually hide my emotions. So the only time that hiding my emotions helped me was when I was supposed to give birth. My mother used to say that when she wants to give, because she gave birth to six of us and she did not give birth via CS. So she would not cry because she would say that when you don't cry, you conserve your energy so that when they tell you push, you can push. So when it was time for me to give birth to my first child, which is a girl, Kashmir, I did not cry. It was painful. I was just using my toe to press on my other toenails, but I didn't cry because I was saying no. My mother said, conserve your energy, conserve your energy. So that was what I did. I just tried to conserve my energy. I did not cry and all that. But I will not say that it can work for everybody. For some people, they cry, some people, they don't cry. As long as the baby comes out and the baby is doing well, it's fine. Whether you cry, because I remember there was a woman that was shouting in the delivery room. She was shouting, "I want to poo, I want to poo." And at the end, she gave birth to her child. That is what matters. By the time she will come out, nobody will know that that's what she was crying in the theater, sorry, in the delivery room. So, what is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence means being smart about feelings. As simple as that. You know, when you have some of these feelings, depending on where you are, if you should show it the way it's doing you. Sorry, I'm speaking like this. But if you behave the way your emotion is pushing you, you might not achieve the optimum where you are. For example, there are some offices where they don't really like taking women in the office because they feel that the women will be emotional about what they are supposed to do. And because they feel that a woman may not be able to control her emotions, they would not even bring her into that conversation. So there was a man I was talking to, I think he used to work in one of the defense agencies and all. And he was saying that when it comes to security intelligence, tapping people's phones and listening to conversations, they do not like bringing women into those kinds of operation or rooms and all that. And he mentioned that the reason why they don't like doing that is because when they bring women into those kind of places, instead of the women to focus on official assignments, they will now start tapping their husbands' phones and all those things. So we must be able to control our emotions. There are some people that they don't mind scattering everything. once like they are offended, they'll be like, everybody here must feel it. They will scatter, everything must scatter. Everybody must feel it. That's how some people are. And if you're like that, people would say, okay, when you are doing this, try and avoid this person, because if this woman comes and something bad happens, she must scatter everything. So we must try to curtail our emotions sometimes, especially in official environment and even with family. You know, my husband used to say that, his father used to say that when you're quarreling with your family members, you don't use um, knife or something like that. You just use a small stick, just a small one, because they are still family at the end. So Daniel Goleman mentioned that EI, that's emotional intelligence, includes self-awareness. So first of all, you understand yourself. I used to get angry easily. You understand that this is what I do easily. You understand that one. Then you now regulate, self-regulation. You regulate your emotions. Okay, I get angry easily. How can I control it? I cry easily. How can I? Because the first time I started working, I used to cry a lot. But now I've learned how to regulate my cry. So, so I won't be in the office now and just crying like how this woman in the picture is crying. But I'll tell myself that, why am I crying for these people? The people that I'm crying for, they're not crying for me, especially in the office. So I'm talking about office now. People that I'm crying for, they're not crying for me. So I cannot now be crying while I'm in the office. So, like in an official environment, if your card is cry, people might think that you're trying to manipulate, and they might want to avoid you in certain kinds of conversations. So emotional intelligence will also help you to motivate yourself, and there's also empathy in it, that somebody's talking about something and you can identify with what they are saying, at least to an extent, and it helps you with social skills. So when I say social skills, let me give you an example. There's this person I know, she's a very nice person, but she talks a lot. Because of that, her very, I don't know, very loud. She's extremely loud. So even when she's not supposed to be very loud, because there are assignments where you need a loud person. There are situations where you need somebody that is loud. For example, if you're working in a place where you have to go into the field, you might need somebody that has that sanguine side that can easily relate with people. For example, if I am going to the market now, for me, I don't really know how to engage in the market and price and all that. But if I go with my husband, he can gist with the market people, he can laugh with them about their children and all that and get a cheap price. So for some people that have those kinds of gifts, like it's a good thing. There are places where that happens, but it's not every time that you have to exhibit that kind of loud attitude that does not have restraint. For example, I remember going to church one day with my husband, and they were doing like a uh, what would I call this thing? Like a fair, like all this fair where people sell things. And this girl was sitting down somewhere in one of the stands, and she saw me coming with my husband. And she now started shouting, "You're still with this woman, eh? You're still married to this woman. You're still married to this woman. Are you sure that this man will still be with you? Maybe he will soon leave you or something." I don't know. Like she was just shouting and she was laughing. I think that she was joking, but I was thinking about it like, why will why would somebody be screaming in a crowded place that, why is this man still with this woman? Like, what have I done to offend you? But to her, she was actually joking, because I still see her in church and she we still greet. Like she didn't have any bad intention, but she just did not know how to control her words. So that's social skills, having social skills, knowing when to talk, what to say, and the appropriate places to share some of your jokes. Yeah. So high emotional intelligence helps us to control how we act impulsively. It helps us to communicate clearly and to build healthy relationships. So when I say communicating clearly, for example, if you're in an office There are sometimes that an email can come in, and that email, oh, sorry, I just rejected someone by mistake. Okay, there is a way that a call might come, sorry, an email can come in, and that email might be very offensive, or you might be on a live call and you know that your supervisor is in that call, and somebody can say something, whether they know it or not, that can trigger you. At that point, you don't want to now act with that kind of trigger that will now make your boss to feel like, oh, I think that this person might not be a good fit for the team. They will not mind that someone triggered you. They'll just be like, I don't think this person is a good fit for the team. And that's it. Before you know, they cut you off the team. So for me, what I do is, even if I receive like a Teams message, an email, or I'm in a meeting and somebody says something that is totally off, that triggers me, especially if it's an email, I just I try to couch my message, like I like type it, I retype it, I retype it, ensure that it's very polite, very extremely polite. I try to make it as polite as possible. Sometimes I even tell them, thank you so much for pointing this out. It is a very valid point. I will keep this in mind, and I will make sure that going forward, I consider this in what I'm doing. You understand? Where I am, I'm boiling, no, but I will just couch it. If I cannot even put words to it, I will type it, take it to ChatGPT, and now tell ChatGPT that please help me reframe this to be very polite for an official setting or for a formal setting. And then ChatGPT will help me do it, and then I will send it. When I send it, they can say, oh, thank you for understanding. In my mind, I'm like, understanding what? But at the end, I'm not having anybody saying, oh, she's not a good fit. She is not a good team player. No, you don't want that. And some people, you know that as the woman, you are the breadwinner of your family, right? Maybe your husband doesn't have a job, or he's trying to get his way, or two of you are bringing in to like support the family. And after you know all these things, you now go to the office, someone annoys you, and you cannot control your emotions. You now say, I resign. I resign. I know my value in this organization. I resign. You now resign. You now go home. And your your children are now suffering because of your lack of intelligence. So sometimes, like, there are sometimes that I go to work, I come back, I cry, like I'm almost like in a depressed state. But I know that it's not about me. I have children, I have a husband, I have people that I'm supporting, and I don't have the like I wanted to use the word effrontery, but that is not the word. I don't have the there's a word. So much help me with the word. I don't have the there's a word. There's a word. It's coming to my mind. I don't have the. Somebody should help me with the right word. I don't have the, not leverage. No, I don't have the privilege. There's a word. Audacity. No, capacity. No, I don't have the liberty. Liberty. Yes, knowledge. There's another word, but it's fine. So you understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't have that. When you're in a place where you can decide to work or you can decide not to work, you can decide to succeed or you can decide not to succeed, you can decide to waste your life or you can decide not to. You have that room to do what you want, choice. And here, I don't have the luxury. Oh, yes, God's favor. That is the word, the luxury. I don't have the luxury of just waking up one day and saying, I don't want to do this anymore. I have no. There is so much to lose if I do that. So no matter how I'm crying or anything, I put my emotions in check and I do what I have to do. And there's sometimes, I don't know if it's Gen Z thing, but sometimes like you see some young people, they say, maybe I want to volunteer or I want to do something. They come, they don't even do anything, and they'll tell you, oh, my mental health, and that's it. Okay, all right. You are still young, so you don't have bills to pay. So maybe that's why. So in simple terms, like it means knowing what you are feeling. First of all, I know what I'm feeling. I feel sad. Understanding why you feel that way. I don't like, or you can say, I feel jealous. You know, there was something I was listening to, and somebody said something about jealousy that I've never ever considered. The person said, when you feel jealous, instead of feeling bad that you felt jealous, understand that you are feeling jealous because what you are looking at is what you would like to have. So that should be a motivation for you that, oh, I see that my colleague just landed a client and I feel jealous. Oh, that means I would love to land a client. Okay, what are the things that I can do to also land a client? Or I feel jealous that my friend is getting married. Okay, are there some things that my friend has or is doing that has been able to help her to do this? Are there things that, so you are now repurposing the jealousy. That is one way to do it. And somehow I thought about it because the person said, if somebody, for example, if somebody, because I stay in Abuja, so if somebody in Abuja today decides that they want to maybe go and visit a chief in Kuje, for example, to greet the chief, and the person says on LinkedIn, um, today I was honored to visit the chief of Kwali today, and it was a privilege, right? I might not be jealous that the person went to visit the chief of Kwali. It's not a bad thing, it's a good thing, but I'm not jealous because I don't have it in mind right now to visit the chief of Kwali. But if somebody says, today I was privileged to get a call or get an email from Elon Musk, and he actually invited me for a meeting in March, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to be among the select few. You know how LinkedIn talks. And I now feel jealous. That means it's like pointing me to something that I would like to achieve as a person. So I should not now go and start now opening a social media handle to now troll them and put a fake and now write bad things about them. No, I should be able to channel that thing to a good cause, not to use it for something else. Repurposing jealousy. Thank you so much, Hannah. Thank you. So understand why you are feeling that way. Another thing that I do personally, and I just started doing this recently, because I noticed that there are several emotions that I have that even though I want to be a good person, those emotions keep coming up. I was able to get, so for those who are Christians, not for everybody, but for those who are Christians, I went to First Corinthians chapter 13 from verse 4 to 8. And I now personalized it for myself to help me. So if I'm feeling envy, or I'm feeling jealousy, or I'm not patient with my husband, or I'm rejoicing in evil, I now recite it to myself. So I now tell myself something like, I am patient, I am kind, I do not envy, I am not proud, I do not boast, I I do not dishonor others, I am not self-seeking, I am not easily angered, I do not take record of wrong, I I what is the next one? I I do not rejoice in evil, but I rejoice. Okay, yes, I do not delight in evil, but I rejoice in the truth. I persevere, I protect, I trust, I hope, love never fails. So for me, I started doing this last month because sometimes, no matter how good you are, you just notice that you scroll through your social media and you see somebody's post and you feel jealous. Why should you feel jealous? So you either think of repurposing it or you try to rewire your mind to rejoice in the success of others. So um, another one is staying calm when you're upset. This one will be very good, especially for married people. Understanding how other people feel. You know, sometimes we are all in our heads. But sometimes you ask yourself, how is this other person feeling? This other person might also have a legitimate reason why they're behaving, why they're behaving, why they behave the way they are behaving. Sorry, excuse me. So it helps you to choose good behavior instead of reacting in a way that you will regret. How many of us have behaved in a way that we regretted? I'll tell you something that happened in December. In the January session, I said something that I was trying to monitor my emotions for the year so that I will not fall into a depressed state, right? Because sometimes things happen and I now feel bad, especially when people that I love, I have like quarrels with them or issues with them. I feel really bad. So I've been trying to watch it so that I don't fall into that state. So what happened in December was something good was happening to one of my family members. And this family member, I felt that the family member, as a first child, the person should have reached out to me personally and say, okay, this is what is happening. This is what I want to do. But the person did not tell me. And the person just put it on the group, like generally, this is what I'm doing, or this is it. And I now felt bad. Why will you reach out to me in other things, and then when something like this is happening, you don't even reach out, you just put it in the WhatsApp group, if you like here, if you like read, if you like don't read. So I felt bad. Now, if I had proper emotional intelligence, I should have celebrated with the person and then afterwards now say, see you, I did not like the way you just did this. I think that you should have at least honored me to like tell me this thing before just throwing it on the WhatsApp page, which is not a bad thing because it's a family WhatsApp page. But instead, what I did was that I called and I said, hey, how are you doing? Fine. And the person was actually like, hey, and I was like, congrats or congratulations, but I don't think this is nice. I think that at least you should have told me instead of just putting it on the WhatsApp group. Why will you not tell me? That is how to honor someone that is the first child instead of, and the person just zoned out. I was like, sorry, are you angry? But I just thought I should tell you. And after I finished telling the person this, what now happened was I said, okay, thank you very much, congratulations and everything. After I cut the call, I felt I felt sad, I felt bad. What I had in mind was good, but I felt so bad. I was like, why will I do this? First of all, why would the person not understand what I'm saying? Why would the person now go defensive and now go quiet? So I was now, you understand? But I don't have the right to tell another person how the person should feel by what I said. And after a while, I called the person back, I apologized, and I tried to mend the relationship. You understand? So sometimes, like when we discover that we have done something wrong, not really wrong, but that we express our emotions the wrong way, there is no need to be proud. Whether you're firstborn, lastborn, you reach out, you apologize. So that's what I did. So it's really not about being perfect, but it's about learning how to handle your feelings wisely. I'll go to the next slide. The way I'm explaining, I don't even know how we'll go today. So why do I act the way I do? It can be maybe you're just a woman, you are in your menstrual cycle and you are irritated, maybe past experiences, you are just defensive. Once you, for example, there are sometimes that if I just bring up something to my husband, he will just be defensive because I've said it before. So when I just bring it up, he has already put on his soldier and his soldier clothes, even though he's not an army. So it's just past experiences. So sometimes like there is already a wound there. So anybody that is coming close to that place, we're already triggered. Sometimes it's beliefs, our religion or something. We are ready to give it fire for fire based on what we believe. Sometimes it's just our learned emotional patterns. So I would say something briefly here that there was something that I read about, just like how, for example, if like I'm moving from, let's say, Guarimpa to Wuse, there is a road that I usually follow. Sometimes I will not even check Google Map to know if there is another road that is free. But because I'm already used to that road, Once I'm going to Wuse, I'm just driving straight through that road. And then I now enter into a holdup and I'm thinking, oh my God, I now check Google Map and I discover that another road was free. I'm not like, oh my God. But the thing is that my mind is already used to following a particular road to Wuse. So once I enter the car, I'm following that road to Wuse. That's how the mind is. There are sometimes that because the mind is already used to going a particular way, once anything happens, it just wants to go through that way. So you now have to repurpose your mind. You now have to tell your mind that no, I will not follow this road. I will follow another road. So this is like this can be caused by early attachment experiences, culture, trauma, personal traits, and the rest, etc. But we must understand what we are doing, first of all. When you understand it, then you can now work back from that. So why do you act the way you do? Because you learned that growing up, because you've seen other people doing it. Maybe something happened before, what you believe, like I said, your brain is already wired to act that way. So you must understand how you behave, your patterns, and then you must decide to choose wisely. So I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, but when I researched, they said that emotional intelligence is linked to the brain system connecting the amygdala, which is the emotional detection, to the prefrontal cortex, which is the reasoning and regulation side. So there is a way that your brain wants to move, and your brain learns from what you repeat. So when you repeat certain behaviors over and over, that's how it's going to work. So for example, for me, like I said, when that thing happened with my sibling, what happened to me, which is my normal way of behaving, is when I have such issues, I just start blaming myself. I start feeling bad. Before you know, I start getting depressed. I just start feeling bad. Like, how could I have done this? How could I have said this? Self-righteousness will start coming in. Why didn't I do better and all that? So I remember that when I started getting I felt so down to the point that when I went out, somebody saw me. The person just saw me and knew that something was wrong. The person went straight to my husband and asked my husband that, is there any issue with your wife? Did people have any marital issues? Because your wife is looking very, 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 very down. Is she sick? Is something happening to her and all that? So my husband told her, no, nothing is the problem. She just has like a slight issue and all that. So he quickly walked up to me in church and he was like, CEO, somebody just came to meet me. Please, you need to come out of this thing so that people don't start thinking that we have an issue and all that. But what was happening to me was that my mind, once I have emotional issues and strain like that, I just want to withdraw. I'm like, okay, if I am going to hurt people by speaking, then maybe let me be quiet and all that. So that is how my brain has been moving. So because of that, whenever something happens, that car wants to go through that route. So now what I'm consciously trying to do is, instead of going through that route and now staying in a depressed place, I just say, okay, how can I come out of this as fast as I can? Quickly, I send a message, I apologize, I try to straighten things out so that I can come out of that space. Or another thing I do is I try to start praying for the person. So if it's somebody that hurts me and I cannot really reach out to the person, I start praying for the person. Oh Lord, bless this person, increase this person, anoint this person, bless the works of their hands. If I pray for the person for 1 month, I will see where that depression wants to come from, because how will I be blessing my enemy for 1 month? Then I have to be happy. So that's what I do. Um, so I've already spoken about this. You just try to choose a better response. So during your free time, you can read about neurological pathways, and I think it will help you. So I'll just move from this so that we can move on. So who benefits more from you understand having emotional intelligence? Everyone benefits. Individuals, your family benefits, your colleagues benefit, your community benefits. Everybody around you benefits when you know how to control your emotions. If you are married, your husband will benefit. If you're in a relationship, him, because I remember today that my husband was telling me something about someone he was talking to, and this person was in a relation or is in a relationship with somebody, and she was telling him that maybe like the guy spoke to her in a way, and she gave the guy like, I don't know what they call it, is it aura for aura? I don't know how she like Like she said several things that she was not supposed to say. And they're supposed to be married in few weeks. And she said like very, very nasty things. So my husband now told her that all these things that you've said, you will make the man to now rethink whether he should go into this relationship with you, because if we are not yet married and you can clear me like this, if we marry, I wonder what you will do. So that's why some people they have some kind of relationships that everything was going well, and just before marriage the guy disappeared. It's, that can also be because of some things that we said, or ways that we behaved. So when you master your emotions, it's it can help your relationships. So in summary, you benefit because you feel calmer, you make better choices, your family benefits, there is less fighting, there is more understanding, your friends benefit because you listen, you care, your colleagues and people in your school, they benefit. And even if you're working with a team, you discover that people will cooperate better. So I'll give you an example about a staff that I had once. So this staff was doing his best, and his best was good, but he was a young guy and he had some youthful exuberance. Once in a while, he would do some things that he was not supposed to do. So there was a time that we were actually doing our closing ceremony and all, and he did his best, but there were some things that I told him to do, which he did not do. I don't know if he didn't do it out of excitement, but he didn't do it. So after he was done with the closing ceremony, I reached out to him and I was like, thank you for everything you did, but you didn't do this, you didn't do this, you didn't do this. Why? Why didn't you do this? And immediately he just, and I think it has to do with mostly men. When a woman corrects a man like that, sometimes he just went quiet, and he just got cold. And even though he was a staff and I was paying him, I noticed that he just went cold. So immediately after a while, I sent him a message and I told him, I said, the way I spoke to you today, were you offended? And then I told him, I said, uh, please be candid with me. And he now told me that he was so happy with how things went, and that when I spoke to him, he did not like it at all. Me as his boss, I apologized. I told him I'm very sorry. Sorry, I didn't handle this well and all that. And that was what sorted the issue. Years after, we are still friends, we are still cool and all that. And I apologized. So it helps you, even with your team, to work better and to have a better team. So emotional intelligence. How can I develop emotional intelligence? Pay attention to your feelings, name your emotions, listen carefully to others, think before reacting. This is very important. Say sorry when you are wrong, learn from your mistakes. Because some people, when they tell you what you've done and then you do it over and over, they might just be like, okay, it's like this person doesn't want to learn. Then ask others questions to get their own perspective. And then it's a practice. So don't feel bad. Like when you do something and you've already apologized or you've tried to settle the issue, and then you still continue flogging yourself for that thing, that is pride actually. Because if you did something wrong, you've apologized, and then you are still flogging yourself, that means you think that you can never make a mistake, and you're a human being, you can make mistakes. So please let us try not to be proud. When we make mistakes, let's try to fix it and move on from there. So how to act opposite of your negative feeling. Instead of shouting, try to speak calmly. So I tell this to my children sometimes, like, must you shout? Can you count to 10 and bring your voice down? Um, Instead of hiding, can you talk to someone safe? For me, I can talk to my husband. Instead of quitting, can you try to just act opposite of quitting? For example, when I first got married, whenever we quarrel, that's I and my husband, I just feel that because we've quarreled, maybe he doesn't want the marriage again. At a point, my husband had to tell me that, see, Because we quarrel does not mean that I don't want to be married to you. So you don't have to ask me, do you want to divorce? Are you tired? Do you want me to go? Do you want me to pack my things? It's like, no, because we quarrel does not mean that I'm tired of the marriage. We can quarrel and fix it. We don't have to go separate ways because we quarreled. So if you are someone that likes being mean, because some people they derive joy in being mean. Some people they can revenge for Africa. Like if they've not revenged, I don't know why, but the Bible says, even though this is not a Christian stuff, that vengeance is mine. You can leave that revenge for God. You must not be the one to revenge. So just try to act opposite of that negative. So when you have a negative feeling, just ask yourself, what's the opposite of this negative feeling? Then try to do it. So maximizing and using positive emotions wisely. Notice them when you feel joy, gratitude, excitement, peace. Pause and enjoy the feeling. Tell yourself, this feels good. You understand? Be happy. Me and my husband, most times, when we have something good that has happened to us, most times, we just head straight to where they sell food. We buy food and we eat. How many of us celebrate like that? For me, my celebration is food. My celebration is food. How many of us celebrate with food? So if I am celebrating my birthday, I celebrate with food. If we get a job, we celebrate with food. If our children are celebrating their birthday, we celebrate with food. Food is our own celebration, not really clothes or anything. It's food that's usually. And my birthday was 10th of February. So when I went to church on Sunday, last week Sunday, I saw Comfort. She was in the class in January, and she now brought a gift for me. And she said, you said that you like love and that you like people showing love. So this is a gift for you. I was so happy. It was not food. So it was a bag, but I was like very happy with it. So we have few people that celebrate with food. Okay, some people celebrate with food. Yeah. So for me and my husband, we celebrate with food. So just try and find something that makes you happy. Oh, when you celebrate. So share positive experiences with others. Write them down in your journal. For me, how I journal some of my good things is that before I noticed that when bad things happen to me, I write it down. But when good things happen to me, I don't write them down. So what I started doing was I have a YouTube page. And in that YouTube page, when when good things happen to me, I do like a private video and I upload it privately. So I tell myself, oh my God, today, see what happened to me. Like today, I was able to do this. I'm so happy. I just record the video and I upload it to my YouTube channel privately. I celebrate it. So whenever I go to that YouTube page, I see like maybe dreams I had, celebration, moments and all that. So you can also do that or you can write it and all that. So I do that. So just find a way to celebrate yourselves, your positive moments. If you want to journal it, you can do that. Lastly, I would say that you can use your positive energy to achieve something. For example, some people that maybe they are marking 50 and they start an NGO, or something good happens and they say, oh, I'm giving out 30 this to 30 people. So you can also, sorry, like mark your good experiences with something that would impact others. Advantages of emotional intelligence. I think I've said several things that relate to this, so I'll skip this. Disadvantages. I think the most thing is you suffer people and you just suffer yourself because people will not be comfortable around you and you just suffer people and you suffer yourself. That's what I think. When you don't have emotional intelligence, you have the possibility of even ending up alone. You have burnout, you have stress overload, you just stress yourself because you cannot even say no. Somebody calls you, come and speak at this event, you don't even have transport, you now trek there. You cannot even say, I don't have transport, will you foot my transport so that I can come? You don't know how to say no. You don't know how to gently say your mind. So you just suffer for nothing, and you suffer them. By the time you get there, you're sweating. You're now cursing them. Instead of blessing them, you now start cursing them. So statistics shows that, research shows that often finds that women score slightly higher in emotional awareness and empathy. Yeah. So you must now know how to manage it. You understand? You must you must know how to now manage it. So I'll be asking a few questions and then we'll move to the next part. So, what emotion do I struggle to manage the most? Let us answer it with one word. What what emotion do I struggle to manage the most? Is it fear? Is it anger, sadness, jealousy, shame, embarrassment? What emotion do I struggle to manage the most? Or is it even a good emotion? Some people, whenever something good happens, maybe they are somewhere, they don't know how to control their emotions. They will now declare for everybody, spend all the money in their wallet. What happened for you or to you was a good thing, but you have now used that good emotion to spend everything in your wallet. You now leave that place empty. Your account is empty. Anger, sadness. Okay, so that's one emotion I struggle with the most. Sadness. I manage anger and fear and other things very well. Sadness. So we have most people struggling to manage sadness, anxiety. How? Anxiety can be very stressful, sincerely. Fear. Good. Thank you for sharing. So you see that you are not alone actually. Several people go several people go through the same kind of emotion. I think mine is fear. May God deliver us from fear, sadness, and embarrassment. Let me tell you, for me, I used to hate embarrassment. I hated it, or I still hate it to the point that when I was getting married, I told my husband, I say, me, I don't like embarrassment. Anything you want to do, just don't embarrass me in public. You know, kind of thing that maybe your husband just shouts on you in public, or he just says, you safe, can't you? As in, I don't like embarrassment. So that was one of the things I told my husband when I was getting married to him. I said, anything you do, don't embarrass me in public. I don't like embarrassment. So, but even when once in a while he has done things that embarrassed me, but not not knowing that he was actually embarrassing me, I I still controlled my emotion. By the time we now got home, I now said, see, you embarrassed me today. What you did was an embarrassment. Please don't do it again. All right. So, when was the last time the emotion controlled my behavior? So, can we write? Okay, you might not need to share this, but just think of a time that this particular thing. Okay, so Quincy is saying joy, sorrow, and anxiety, which often spirals into depression and suicidal thoughts. Hey, and anger, it's rare but explosive. It burns me, but I can't stop, and I keep it in my heart just as much as I usually ignore an embarrassment. See, let me tell you something, Quincy. You see this suicidal thought, there are some times. So let me explain something to you. The first time when I got married, whenever I quarrel with my husband, so I've shared this in our podcast. Whenever I quarrel with my husband, I will be so, I will be so sad. I will be so depressed. My heart will be beating faster than usual. I will be so sad. I will not be able to sleep. My husband will be sleeping. I will now walk out of the house in the middle of the night. I will be crying on the road. If you know Guarimpa 69 Road, I will be walking up and down. I will be crying. Sometimes I will sit down on the road. I will just be crying. I will be so sad. I will not even think that, okay, if I am crying on this road now and a car should come and jam me or somebody kidnaps me, what will happen? I will not think of it. Now I have like a second hole in my ear. If you have read my book, Wake Up Calls, I talked about this. I have a second hole in my ear. That hole in my ear, I did not need it. But I was so sad. I now went and told them, pierce a hole in my ear, thinking that my husband will notice when I come back and he will now say, oh, you pierced a hole in your ear, because my mom did not like having double holes. So I felt that if I pierce my ear, my husband will see the piercing in my ear and he will shout, and then we can now talk, because we had been doing like silent treatment for a while. And you not believe, I went and pierced my ear. And after piercing my ear, I came back home. My husband did not see that I pierced my ear. So I pierced my ear for nothing. All those time I will go out, I will walk on the streets, I will come back home. My husband will not know that I left the house because he was sleeping. You understand? He was sleeping. So when he wakes up, of course, we are keeping malice. So I will not tell him that I went out in the night, and he will not know that I went out in the night. And I will now put it upon him that, how will your wife go out in the night? And she walked out in the night, and you did not know that she walked out in the night, but he was sleeping. So you see this thing, they are actually suicidal matters. But I'll now tell you what changed me, because I now, one of the podcasts that we were having, I asked him a question and I said, if I die, will you remarry? He was going up and down, up and down, up and down. And finally he said, yes, if you die, I will remarry. Immediately, it just hit me that, do you know that the person that I'm almost killing myself for, if I die, he will remarry. So if I die, this man will go and look for a younger version of me. All the bad character that I did, he will now take his time and look for a woman that does not have that kind of bad character. He will now marry. He will not. Why do you think that there are some men that by the time they are married to their wives and their wives die, they're even in their 60s, they will now go and marry like somebody that is not like, as in all the things that they suffer from their first wife, they will go and marry the opposite. They'll go and marry one fine, yellow, somebody that will be so calm, that will be saying, my Lord, all those things. And you're already in heaven or in hell, wherever you believe. And this man has gone to remarry. And I told myself from that day, I said, see, me like this, I will not kill myself. When it is time for me to die, God will call me home. But that I will feel so depressed, so pain for a matter that when I think about, now I'm talking about that thing with my husband in our podcast and we're laughing about it. Imagine if they had kidnapped me years ago and I now died. He would have remarried to one, uh, let me not talk. So I told myself, I'm not going to kill myself. Do you know what happened? One day, I dreamt. In my dream, something was happening in my marriage and I felt so bad. I now went to go and climb the window. I was not even planning to jump, but I climbed the window in the dream. In the dream, and I told myself, Juliana, if you die, your husband said he will remarry. Do you know that in my dream, I came down from the window and I walked to another room? That's to tell you that I told myself so much like that, Juliana, you cannot die. So even in the dream, I told myself, in case you fall down by mistake in the dream and you now die, no, this man said he would marry. I came down from the window in my dream. So I don't think, like, this is like my own story, you understand? Your own story might be different, but I'm just saying, like, you don't need to kill yourself. That thing that you want to kill yourself for, when you think about some of the things that depressed you in secondary school, and you now think about yourself now, I remember that there was a time that I had like a serious quarrel with like my friends. I'm telling you, I emaciated. I was so slim. In my dreams, I will be crying from my dream. I will wake up crying. In my dream, I will be telling them, it's not like that. That's not what I meant. And I'll be crying. Thinking about it today. We've reconciled. We are friends. So why did I torture myself that much in university? Do you understand? There was a time that I think it was evidence law or something. I got an E or something like that. I remember going to the back of a building and I was crying there. I was saying, oh God, oh, after everything, after everything. And at the end, thinking about it now, Everything that I'm doing in my career, I'm not using evidence law to do what I'm doing in my career. And I wanted to cry out to myself. So sometimes just think about some of the things that wanted to depress you in the past. All those things now, most of those things are past. So please, Quincy, there is just try and come out of that suicidal thought. It's not worth it. And I pray that God will help you. All right. Um, so it's do I blame others for how I feel? That's also one thing. Think about it. There's sometimes that we blame others for why we feel what we're feeling, why we're doing what we're doing. We must try to take responsibility for the part that we can handle and just work with it. Do I suppress my emotions until I explode? If I mastered my emotions, what would change? Okay, so let me ask this question. This is like my final question for this. You can just take a screenshot of this and you can answer it on your own later. But let me ask you a question. If you are able to master your emotions, what is one thing that will change in your relationship? What is one thing that will change in your leadership? What is just one thing that will change? Let me see it in the chat. If you are able to master your relationship, what is one thing that you are sure that this thing will change? What will improve in my life if I can master that particular emotion? Just put it in the chat. If I can, so I asked the question in the beginning that what is what is the emotion that you struggle with? So if you're able to master that emotion, okay, somebody said, Kuku said, I will be more present. I'll be more present. All right. How I react towards the actions of others, how I let others affect me emotionally. I'll be able to forgive. I won't be distant. Yes. I will set boundaries. I'll be happier with myself. Sincerely. Thank you, Victoria. I'll be happier with myself. I think that sums up a lot of things. I will have peace of mind. I will stop beating myself up so much and not wallowing so much in self-pity. I will be calm. Yes, I will talk things out. I will forgive. I will give myself peace. My best friend here said I will give myself peace. Yes, so, yes, so, yes, so. All right. So we are going to move on. I will set boundaries and actually say no more often. Thank you for sharing. So, definition of boundaries. Somebody mentioned boundaries. Boundaries are limits or rules we set for ourselves and how we want to treat others and how we want others to treat us. That is just a simple thing. So you protect your time, you protect your energy, you protect your values, you protect your emotions, you protect your body, you protect your mental health. That's just boundaries. Healthy boundaries are very good in life. You understand? They help us to say yes with confidence. They help us to say no without guilt. Boundaries clarify responsibilities, what is mine and what is yours. I'll tell you something. There's a colleague I used to have, and this colleague, when she comes to work, she would put in her 120%. And once it's 5:30, she would pack her things and she would go. As simple as that. And so what that did for her was that whenever the boss wants to do anything, the boss will make sure that he gives her her work within that time frame because he knows that once it's 5, she's going. Once it's 5:30 max, she's going. But for me, even though I had family, I had my children, I could stay till 7, 7:30. Was it a bad thing to do? No. But I did not put that boundary. Now, I work mostly remote. And I noticed that working with stakeholders, there's some of them that will chat you up on Saturdays, they'll chat you up Sundays, they will call you. It's not bad. Before I used to answer and answer, but if I work so hard during the week and I don't really have time for my children, then weekend I'm now answering calls. So what I do now is I'll just say, send me a voice note and I'll answer on Monday, or send me an email and I'll answer on Monday. And that has really helped me. And I don't feel guilty about it. And people respect that now. Although there are some people, yes, there's a particular papa that sends me, and he would always call. Friday evenings he has called, Saturday he has called, Sunday he has called, and I would say, sir, please just send a voice note or send an email. I'll respond on Monday. So boundaries help you. People respect you for that, and they work within those boundaries. So sometimes when you are angry that people are offending you, they are not really planning to offend you. They're just working with the large space that you've given them. When you give them a boundary, they would work within that boundary. I'll tell you one example and I'll move forward. When my husband was trying to date me and he was trying to like tell me, oh, I like you and all those things, what he did was he was just talking, and he now made a comment about something that was very important to me. And I told him, even though I liked him, I wanted to date him and hopefully marry him. But I was not now scared that, oh, if I tell him my mind, maybe he will not date me. Maybe he will not know. I was polite about it, but I told him, I said, see, regarding this topic, it is very important to me. If you do not have any good thing to say about this, please, I prefer that you do not comment than to say anything negative about this particular topic, because this topic is very important to me. I'm telling you, in 10 years of my marriage, my husband has not said one negative thing about that thing, because I was clear from when he was asking me out. This topic is very important to me. So except he wants to hurt me, because you know that, for example, when people are quarreling or they are going through like maybe divorce, separation or something, and somebody wants to purposely hurt somebody, then they go and bring out those things from the archives. But if somebody loves you and they want to be the best for you, they would not want to cross those boundaries. So even in the workplace, there are boundaries you can put, but you don't need to be harsh about your boundaries. You can be kind while setting your boundaries. Why do we need boundaries? Boundaries protect our emotional well-being. So like I told you, I told my husband, this particular thing, it is central to me. So please, then it reduces resentment. Because if people know that by 5 o'clock, by 5:30, this person is leaving, they might not find it easy at first, but with time they understand it, and you will now see that there will be no resentment. Everybody will respect your boundaries and they will move forward. So it improves relationship clarity. You want to date somebody. Let's assume that you don't want to have sex before marriage. You do not say you don't want to have sex before marriage. You're now gisting with the person. You people are looking at yourselves and you people are connecting, and the person just moves and kiss you and touch your breast. Then you now say, oh my God, my private space, my private space. But you did not say, I don't want it. You didn't say it. So the person thought it was accessible. So if you feel that something is not accessible, my lips are not accessible, my breast is not accessible, this part of me is not accessible, my finance is not accessible until after marriage. Because sometimes you are dating somebody, the person is telling you, I have a quarry business, I want to invest 5 million, I know you have savings of 5 million, can you give it to me? After all, we'll be getting married soon. You tell the person, I don't mind supporting my husband, but I have this as my policy. And most times, that's what companies do. I have it as a policy that I would not lend more than 20,000 to the man that I'm dating. But when we get married, I don't mind. We can have a joint, that's if you want, or we can have a project account. But for dating, I do not give this kind of amount, because I know that some people, they invest so much in a guy and then the guy breaks their heart and then they start feeling bad. So you must have your boundaries. Without boundaries, people may overextend themselves. They might feel overwhelmed. They might tolerate disrespect. Huh. Huh. Okay. I think it's self-explanatory, so let me not go into that. You can be assertive and still and not be aggressive. You understand? So it helps you. I'll move on. So why some women do not have boundaries? Some women struggle with boundaries due to social conditioning. Maybe you are in a kind of family where they say women don't talk, women don't express themselves. Or even in some families, they just do not talk to their seniors. So you can see a younger one that has so much resentment to their firstborn. for their firstborn. They have so much resentment for their parents. But because they're in a family where they cannot talk, they just keep quiet. Nobody's saying that you should be rude to your parents. Nobody's saying you should dishonor your senior ones or your elders, but you can, in a gentle and respectful and an honoring way, um, say what's on your mind so that you even let go of some of those things. So some women, sorry, okay, I think I'm here. So for some women, they just feel that they must continue to sacrifice. You must sacrifice, 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 sacrifice. You sacrifice your sleep, you sacrifice your peace, you sacrifice your money, you sacrifice your time, you sacrifice your career, you sacrifice everything. You sacrifice your education. For some people, they were actually doing their first degree, they dropped out to get married, or their masters. They said, okay, this one. Now they are married, they did not complete their university, they did not do their masters, they gave birth to children, they're still sacrificing, the children have finished university, they're still sacrificing, they just want to continue pleasing. There's always somebody to take care of, and so they're not doing what they're supposed to do. And so at the end, you discover that the man is training himself and he's getting higher, and you're not training yourself. Yeah. And sometimes it's the opposite. Maybe a woman is training herself, she's getting better. The man is not training himself and he's stagnant. And at some point, two of you cannot connect intellectually anymore. So for some people, it's fear of rejection. For some people, they don't just want conflict. That one is my own. I just don't like conflict sometimes. I just don't want to have that conflict. So because of that, I over apologize, I over give, I over, you know, there's something that my husband told me recently, and I was just like, my God, this man knows me. He told me that I noticed that when you don't understand how to solve a problem, you throw money at it. For example, I can quarrel with somebody. I've apologized though, and I feel like there's still tension. I will now go and save and get money to give that person or to buy something to give the person. So I'm overcompensating because I don't want conflict. So let's just put in the chat, how many of us fear rejection? How many of us fear conflict? How many of us have a fear of abandonment? You know, I used to have a fear growing up, not even growing up, even after I got married. Some of the things that I used to be afraid of was, I used to be afraid of being alone. I used to be afraid that what if I now talk and everybody leaves me and I'm now alone in old age? You understand? Some of us, we have that fear of abandonment. We have fear of conflict. We just want everywhere to be peaceful. We just want to be the good ones. We just feel that if we should say it, people will reject us. Fear of being alone. Yeah. Favor said fear of being alone. Nita said fear of conflict, fear of rejection, abandon, all of it. All. Okay. So some things that can cause this, maybe trauma, low self-esteem. It can make people to weaken their boundaries. So cultural expectations also. Over time, this can lead to emotional exhaustion or even resentment. Because why you're going to resent some people is because you did everything for them. So for example, if you decided not to do masters, or you decided to resign from your office because of your husband, or you decided to not project yourself because of something, and then the people that you did that thing for, they now look at you in the face and ask you, what did you do for me? Some people are angry and frustrated at their husbands because they did not advance their lives. Now their husband is maybe doing something else, and they are saying, after everything I've done, and their husband is saying, what did you do for me that otherwise have not done? Or you deprive yourself of something for your children, and then your children are telling you, what did you do that mothers did not do? Do you understand? So it can lead to resentment. Or you did things for your siblings, and now your siblings are telling you, what did you do? What did you do that other sisters have not done? Ooh, what did you do that other brothers have not done? And then you are crying, you're sad, you're depressed, you're telling yourself, but I did this thing out of love. But the truth is, nobody sent you. You decided to do it. So when you decide to do something, you don't now expect the person to react in a certain way, because the person may not react in that way. When you decide to sow your salary into somebody's life, and then the person goes to buy maybe a wristwatch with it, You're not feeling bad that, oh my God, I gave my salary for you, and you now use my salary to buy a wristwatch. That's what the person wants to do. So don't now feel bad about it. So you must learn how to say no so that you're happy with your decision. So how to build healthy boundaries? First of all, it starts with self-awareness. Where are you? If you struggle with fear of abandonment, fear of this, fear of that, understand where you are. Clarify your values and your limits. So I'll tell you, last year I had to get the services of a therapist. The reason why I spoke to a therapist was because everything that I mentioned here used to be me. Like, I just had those fears. I would overcompensate for everything. And I was just like, why am I behaving the way I'm behaving? So I spoke to a therapist, and that was when she explained all these boundaries to me, all these things. And she explained a lot of these things to me, and it actually helped me. Because now, even when I give for peace or I do those things, I'm not doing it now feeling resentment or feeling bad. I'm doing it because I know what I'm doing. I'm saying, I'm apologizing to this person because I want peace. I'm apologizing to this person because I want this person to know that despite what they did, I love them. I'm giving to them because I know they need it and I have it to give it to them. So I'm doing it with understanding, not from a place of fear. So clarify your values, clarify your limits. If you need to speak to a therapist, please do speak to somebody that you know has the kind of values that you have, so that you don't speak to somebody that will just dangle something, brainwash you, and then you are doing something else. So communicate directly, calmly. And first of all, I'll also say lastly that when you set these boundaries, most times it would definitely not be comfortable. It will not be comfortable because the people that you are setting the boundaries with, they are already used to relating with you without boundaries. For example, let's assume that you're married and you have your house, and your siblings can come in anytime. They can sleep for 1 month, 2 months. They will not tell you when they are going and everything. And now you want to set boundaries. You're saying, okay, you can come, but you can't come now. When you're coming, please tell me when you'll be leaving, because we're trying to adjust our expenses and this. I felt they'll not be like, oh, what's she feeling like? Why would she tell us not to come? Why would she tell us? So that thing will cause discomfort. Or you are in an office and you always stay till 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, you pick up the calls of clients anytime. You now set boundaries that, sorry, I have to leave latest 6 o'clock because I have children. I cannot pick calls within this time. The person might be like, oh, what's she feeling like? But you are now setting boundaries. So those boundaries may not be comfortable, but with time, even you will not feel good about it. You understand? Part of the reasons why I did what I did when I said I did something in December was that the, the, the coach I met spoke to me about boundaries, making people see your words and all that. And it was from that place that I spoke to my sibling. But I now discovered that even though I wanted to set the boundary, the way I did it was not right. So you also have to find the balance with it, because healthy boundaries will create a stronger and more respectful relationship when you do it the right way. So how to tear down unhealthy boundaries when you are shutting people out or you're overexposing yourself? Um, and that might be out of fear and everything, being overly permissive and all that. You can try therapy, you can try coaching, you can communicate to someone who is mature, even if you don't want to go through that route, to have the right language to communicate those boundaries or to adjust them. So important points that women should know about boundaries. Boundaries are not selfish, they are responsible. Saying no does not make you an unkind woman. Healthy boundaries strengthen love and not weaken it. I've already explained all these things. Boundaries may reveal who respects you and who benefits from your lack of limits. I think this is very important. I should have highlighted it. And I also said that once you start implementing these boundaries, you would feel uncomfortable with it, and the people will feel uncomfortable with it. But you have to be consistent with the boundaries that you have shared. Not that today, now you're in a relationship, you say, I don't want to have sex. Then you now go, tomorrow you now have it. You now say, no, 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 I will not do it. Then tomorrow again, you now be You now go to a secluded space again where you know that that kind of thing can happen. And then you now say you don't want to do it. The person now kiss you, you now touch the person's chest. It will happen again. So you must set those boundaries and you must try to separate yourself from environments that would cause a relapse. So let me ask a question quickly before I round up on this. How many of us have tried to set boundaries and when it did not work, we now relapsed on it? Like maybe we said, no, I will not do this. Then you did not like the feeling, you now went back on it. Somebody said, Bukola said, I have this fear of offending someone who could possibly help me tomorrow. I used to have that fear too. What I do about this kind of thing is I don't, I, I try not to burn bridges, and I have something about that. I try not to burn bridges. I can see somebody that, okay, I think that this person is not, but I will not burn the bridge. So I can withdraw, but I will not burn the bridge. So I try to do that. So examples of boundaries. Let me give examples of boundaries. Saying no when you are overwhelmed. Refusing disrespectful language. Not answering work calls after certain hours. Choosing not to share personal information with unsafe people. Ending conversations that become abusive. Asking for equal effort in a relationship. Setting consequences when limits are crossed, taking time alone to recharge, declining financial requests that you cannot afford, not that you now borrow to help somebody, politely telling a colleague to give you some time to finish up your work or your task. For example, you have a task to finish and a colleague is gisting with you. You can gently say, please, can we continue this conversation after we are done with this? That's a polite way to do it. Telling your boyfriend to hold on sex until after marriage, that can be something, or living environments that violate your standards. So boundaries should be expressed calmly and consistently. If you don't express these boundaries calmly and consistently, you would you would just defeat the purpose of setting the boundaries in the first place because you just create enemies. So boundaries teach others how they should treat you, and it protects your emotional well-being. So reflections, I'm going to ask a few questions. Yes. Favor says that most times when I try to set boundaries, I'm scared it will burn the bridges, and most times it does. Most times it does, yeah. Like I said, I try not to burn bridges. I set the limits, but I try not to burn bridges. So let me ask a question. Um, when was the last time I said yes, but really meant no? Can we just have like one or two people say it? When was the last time I said yes, but really meant no? And what stopped me from being honest? When was the last time I said yes, but in my heart, what I was, what was shouting in my heart was no, 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 but I could not say no. This afternoon, Bukola said this afternoon. Bukola said this afternoon. Last week, always. I always say yes, even when I want to say no. Mm-hmm. My mother and brother sometimes take me for granted. That one, family members, they are champions in that one. Yesterday, 2 weeks ago, paid for something I didn't want to. Ah, for me, it's usually agreeing with someone just for the sake of peace. Oh my God. That one, people do it a lot, especially in marriage, just for peace. They're like, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Just for peace. I gave someone a gift I know they didn't deserve. Yes. I'm going to ask a last question. How do I typically respond when someone crosses my boundary? Do I respond with silence? Do I respond with anger? Do I respond with withdrawal? Or do I respond with a calm correction? Within the last 3 days, because I didn't want to be seen as proud for doing better than others, I guess deep down, it's so it's to maintain the good person image. So that was the same thing that person that I spoke to last year, that therapist. She told me, she said, Why do you always want to be seen as a good person? Why? Okay, so please let us answer this question. Somebody is already answering it. Thank you. So, how do I typically respond when someone crosses my boundary? Do I respond with silence? Do I respond with anger, withdrawal, or a calm correction? Anne says most times with silence and withdrawal. Bukola says in friendship, I tend to keep my distance because I have a tendency to over to overextend myself. I withdraw or keep silent because I don't want to end the relationship or friendship. Yeah. If there is a calm and intelligent way, sometimes silence always, that's what Inumidun says, silence always. I respond with silence. Silence first, calm, then calm response a few seconds, then very violent and malicious anger. Whoa, whoa. Okay. Silence, then calm correction, silence, calm correction, silence, distance, withdrawal. Yeah, so for me, I try to be quiet, then I try to process it, then I try to calmly give what I want to say, what I want to say. But sometimes it's also good to, when you say what you want to say, also listen to why the person behaved the way they behave. Or sometimes you can also ask an adult, like someone that's older than you, that is wise, to advise you on a good way to respond to that kind of thing. Oh, there are several questions here. You can just take screenshots of this because I want us to round up now. Just in conclusion, just know that boundaries are not about pushing people away. They're about protecting the woman you're becoming. You're allowed to say no. You're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to outgrow dynamics that shrink you. Yeah, so let me move on to the last part. And I don't know how I'm going to do this. Relationship management. As women, we're in several relationships. We are daughters, we are wives, we are siblings, we like do a lot of things, and we're related to lots of people. I don't think I'm going to do this, so I think I would quickly round up. But why do we need to manage relationships? Okay, let me define relationship. A relationship is a meaningful connection between two people. So why should you be friends or in relationship with people that are not adding any form of meaning to your life? So, for example, relationships generally, we could have it with friends, romantic partners, colleagues, mentors, family, business contacts, etc. Healthy relationships include respect, honest support for honesty, support, effort. It's like has to do with like a give and take, efforts from both sides. Relationships should help you grow. They should not shrink you. For example, like I used to say, I married my husband as a youth copper. In my husband's house, I did my albums. In my husband's house, I finished my service. In my husband's house, I did my 2 masters. In my husband's house, I started my business. I rated my company. In my husband's house, I started my NGO. In my husband's house, I got an international job. In my husband's house, almost everything that I've done it in my husband's house. Why? Because he's helping me to grow. He's not shrinking me. So we must be able to check our relationships and ask ourselves, is this relationship adding to my life or is it shrinking me? Definition of management generally. Management means handling something in a responsible and wise way. So why should we manage our relationships? Or how can we manage our relationships in a responsible and wise way? I'm going to go to definition of relationship management. Relationship management is the ability to build, maintain, and handle relationships in a healthy way. So for me, there are some relationships that I'm no longer in. I wish I could still be in them. Maybe I didn't handle them properly, but there are relationships that I still have up till now. For example, my friend is in this call. I've been her friend since maybe 2008, and we're still friends. So you should be able to handle your relationships properly. Types of relationships: dating, romantic relationships, workplace relationship, family dynamics, mentor and professionals. For this mentor and professional relationship, some of us, we don't know how to manage mentors and professional relationships or business and career relations. Let me just talk about this because we already have friends and we know how we handle those things. When you're relating with a mentor, a professional, a business, or a career relationship, there are certain things that be careful. For example, maybe your manager or your director laughs with you. Because your manager is laughing with you or joking with you, does not mean that you will now joke, you will now slap the person. The kind of joke that you will now slap your manager, or you now send um, uh, like an offensive emoji. Like maybe your boss says, maybe your boss chats you up, and then it's already into the night, and your boss says good night. You now put like a hug emoji or like a moi emoji. Why will you give your manager or your boss a moi emoji or a blowing kiss or a hug emoji? Especially if it's a someone of the opposite sex, it would read somehow. So even though your boss is nice to you, you joke with your boss, even even down to your emojis, you must be professional in it. That's what I think. So each relationship requires different boundaries and communication style. Not everyone deserves the same access to you. So just like how you have your house, not everyone can enter your room. You understand? That's how it should be for relationships also. So okay, so why women need to manage relationship? Research shows that women often carry more emotional responsibilities in families and workplaces. There are sometimes, like as women, you want to just do everything. You wake up in the morning, you clean everywhere, you bathe the children, you do this, you go out, you work, even in the office, you're helping people. People have emotional issues, you're solving their issues. You can solve those issues and say, oh, don't worry, I understand what is going on. Can you chat me up by 7 p.m. in the night after work? You understand? But like you're carrying everything on your head. So poor relationship decisions now can affect your career. It can affect your finance. It can affect your emotional health. It can affect your self-worth. If you're in an office where they say it's not allowed to date yourselves in the office, once you know that you start having uh, emotional attraction towards your colleague, then you start knowing that you should start applying for another job because it's against the work there. Um, I'm going to skip because of time. Advantages of managing your relationship properly. When you manage your relationship properly, you attract respectful partners. You know, to be a sanguine is very good, but you must not be lousy. To be a choleric is very good, but you must also know how to not want to now be a choleric on top of your husband. Because if you're choleric on top of your husband, he might resent you. That same choleric nature that is working for you in the office, that you are achieving a lot. If you now come back home, you now say, for example, my husband's name is Joe. If I now say, Joe, see, move, move this table here, go and wash the plate, he will just feel very angry. But to me, I'm saying, oh, I'm a choleric. I must know how to ask my husband that, see, please, I want us to be able to, and to be sincere, because we had to let go of our help in December, and now it's just me and my husband. So to get my husband to join me in doing home chores, because before we had a help that was doing it, I told him, I said, please, I have to put on my laptop at this time. I have to work at this time. And if I have to put my laptop at this time, it means that the work has to be done before this time. And if I'm doing it alone, I cannot finish the work before this time. If I don't finish the work before this time, I will not put on my laptop by this time. If I don't put on my laptop by this time, I will be running foul in my office. If I put my laptop by this time and I work till this time, the children will come back by this time. If they come back by this time, they will not have food by this time. If they don't have food by this time, they cannot do lesson by this time. So I had to explain everything to him. When I explained it to him, the first day he joined, like, oh, this is so stressful to me. Morning hours are my hours, this one, this one. But finally, now we're in a place where we wake up in the morning. As I'm sweeping, he's mopping. As I'm washing, he's arranging. As I'm picking out the clothes from the washing machine, he's drying. In 45 minutes, we are done. But I did not use the choleric side that I use in the office for my husband. So we must know what works. So it reduces drama, it increases peace. You grow emotionally faster, you build strong relationships, and you become known as a stable and mature and a trustworthy person, even in the office. Because if you cannot manage a relationship in the office, like I told you, even if somebody is not behaving proper in the office, I know that office work is about teamwork, is about respect. So no matter how offended I must recouch my message. I must turn it down to the barest minimum so that even if I send that email, if they carry that email to my manager, the manager will not say, oh, Juliana is not a team player. No, they will not say that. I am a team player. So disadvantages of managing relationships poorly. Um, oh my God, you have toxic cycles, you damage your career, you have emotion. Somebody wants to recommend you, but because they know that you can slap somebody for Africa, they will not recommend you. You are competent, but they will not recommend you. So it can damage your career, it can cause emotional burnout, low self-esteem, isolation, constant stress. Repeated poor patterns can delay your growth everywhere. Breaking bridges when necessary. So these are times when you might need to break the bridge. But for me, I don't break bridges like I told you. I don't break it. I just I leave it, but I don't break it. But if you need to break it, if a relationship constantly drains you, confuses you, lowers your self-worth, is toxic, you can start by setting clear boundaries, communicate your expectations calmly. If the behavior does not change, consider distancing yourself. Not every relationship must continue. I will have to move here. Okay, so about burning bridges. It is easy to react quickly when you feel hurt, disappointed, or disrespected. Blocking, some people can block for Africa. In my life, I think I've only blocked one person. And even that person that I blocked, I would still, with time, go and unblock the person. But I felt so hot, and that's the truth. I've only blocked one person in my life, and I'm going to unblock. But some of us, we block everybody. I know somebody that blocks everybody. Once you offend the person will block you. Once the person will insult you first, then before you can insult the person back, the person will block you. Then when the person needs something from you, the person will unblock and now start chatting you to beg you for something. But you've already cut off, you've already burnt that bridge because you insulted the person and then you blocked the person. And now you don't have shame. You unblock the person and now request for something. My God. So some people they cut off, they end relationship, they insult. Even in the office, they can insult, they can slap their boss and walk away and say, eat your office, eat your organization, eat your position, and then they'll go home, they don't have money. So you must not burn bridges. I try, no matter, there's people that have offended me. I've cried, I've lost weight and everything, but I will not burn the bridge. You understand? I will distance myself, but I will not burn the bridge. I can send Happy New Year message so that they receive it, but I will not burn, archive, but I will not burn the bridge. Advantages of long-lasting relationships. I was just gisting with my sister, and she said that, do you know that some of the best friends that you have are friends that you make from secondary school, university? Like, they understand you, they understand your gist. You don't have to explain too much. For example, now, if I want to gist some kind of gist with my friend now that I made in the university, I don't have to explain some things because she knows my history. I can just, but that is one of the advantages of having a long lasting healthy relationship. Even with your husband, having a long lasting healthy relationship, you can gist things, you can be free. But if you're always scattering relationships, that means you have to be building afresh. You're now gisting gist, the friend does not even understand your joke, person does not understand, you understand, everything is afresh. So, and even there's some people that, for example, now they are Christians. They always change church, always change church, always change church like that. You now get married, you give birth to your children are getting married, you are in a new church. Nobody is there to attend their wedding. They don't even have gifts on their wedding. But imagine if You're somewhere in a healthy place. You have healthy people that grow up with your children. They are now getting married. You'll be surprised. Their grandparents will come, their parents will come, their mates will come, their children will come. There'll be gifts everywhere. Everybody will be happy because you grew up somewhere. You have that long history. But some of us, if we want to do something today, there's nobody that we can call because we have cut everything, we've cut it out. So strong friendships and mentors can open doors for us. Stable relationships can build our confidence and it can reduce loneliness. Quality is better than quantity. How should we celebrate, appreciate, and honor people? We should celebrate your friends when they are celebrating. Some of us we don't know our friends' birthdays. I am also guilty of it. My friend is here. There's sometimes that I used to forget her birthdays. We should celebrate each other's birthdays. We should send surprise gifts. We should celebrate our husbands, our partners. We should celebrate them. There's sometimes that we take our families and our spouses for granted. We should celebrate them. Oh my God, we should honor our elders. Sometimes I'll just say this. There was somebody that we met, a young girl. Oh my God. She was entering the place. She just looked at me and my husband in our eyes. She did not greet her. She just entered. She needed to charge her phone. She didn't even say, sorry, sir, please, can I charge? You know what she did? She just used her charger and hit my husband's leg and said, I want to charge. My husband looked at this girl. He said, I'm charging. She said, my phone is low. You know, he just looked at her. He just removed his charger and told her to charge because that's, I don't know. We need to try to honor others and not be rude unnecessarily to people. I'm going to stop here. Thank you so much. If you have any question, please put it in the chat. We are going to be ending very soon. We are going to keep to time. You're not just building relationships, you're building your lives. Please just say one thing that you learned, actually. Please say one thing you learned, one thing you learned, one thing you learned. And then if you have a question, ask your question. Protect your energy. Okay, let's see. I'm going to read out the comments. Please put your questions or your comments. Somebody said I have a question. God's favor. This was me setting boundaries at work last week as a school counselor who someone started taking up. Oh my God. Sorry. Sorry. Okay. I have a question, Ma. This was me setting boundaries at work last week as a school counselor who somehow started taking up admin duties because I couldn't say no, simply because I work from the admin. Now I'm expected to keep doing them. I tried to set boundaries last week, but somehow I've been made to look like a bad person. I was told I would have to stay till 6 p.m. or 10 p.m. during the exam week, but I wasn't having it and tried to agree on a time frame for, for when I have to leave every day. But somehow I work in the admin office and should do what the admin does and go home when they do. How do I deal with this without escalating the issue more than what it really is? So sometimes then we'll ask ourselves, and this is just this. I'm going to answer you practically and genuinely. There are some times that you are in a job, and the truth is you need that job. You need it. That's just the truth. You cannot afford to leave the job because you truly need that job. If you're in the place where you truly need that job, you can politely put it in writing and spell out all your reasons. If you need to use ChatGPT to write your reasons, and tell ChatGPT, me, I'll write it that, please help me couch it in a way that the person reading it will be so empathetic with me and will not be able to say no to my request. And another thing my husband put to is, he will say, would it be a bad idea would it be a bad idea, considering that I live in an environment that has high risk and going home in the night might endanger my life? Would it be a bad idea to allow me go leave the office at an earlier time so that I can save my life and save my dignity and save my, you understand? When you tell ChatGPT to help you arrange that kind of thing, you can send it as a text as an email. Usually, when you end it with something like, would it be a bad idea? The person cannot say it is a bad idea that you should save your life. The person will not say it's a bad idea that you should not be raped or something bad should not happen to you when you're going back home. The person will now say no. The person will now answer you that no, it is not a bad idea that you should go home early. Are you seeing? It is not a bad idea that you should keep your dignity and not be raped by going home late in the night. It is not a bad idea that you should not be kidnapped because you are going home late. So since it's not a bad idea, I think we can do it like this. So that is one way that me and my husband used to do it too. We will tell ChatGPT to write it, then we'll write, is it then we'll tell it to couch it with, is it a bad idea? So we used to try that. Then if you know that the place is a place that they would not accept, the truth is that any knowledge you get it for yourself. You'll be surprised that this admin knowledge that you are getting, you would be applying for a job, for another job, and the seller for that job would be admin skills needed, and it's this admin that will help you. So there is someone that I know, and this person studied law. But by the time she finished studying law, she started going to go and learn about admin because the job roles that she had asked her to be doing lots of admin things. So she went to start doing admin stuff. An international role came up. And when the international role came up, the person was specific. The person said, I want someone that wants to do admin. That was the clear instruction. The person said, I don't want somebody that will come in and be struggling to do programs. I want somebody that wants to do admin and is comfortable in doing admin. And as you see it, the girl was a lawyer, but she was doing admin. She now started learning admin, doing courses in admin, and that was how she got the international job. The international job now that she's in, paying her in, like I cannot mention, she actually got it not because she studied law. She got it because she did admin. For me now, some of the roles that I've gotten and some of the doors that have been opened for me, it is not even because of, oh, I studied law. Is that I have a music background. And that music background, I got most of it volunteering to sing and to back up for people. You understand? So some things that you think is like a punishment, when the opportunity will come, is that thing that you're looking at that will now help you. For example, I did like a volunteering work for some people. I used to do all their Canvas, their Zoom, and everything like that. When I now finally got an international role, part of my job description was creating templates, doing Zoom meetings, because I work remotely. So if I had said, no, I'm not volunteering, I'm not going to do your templates, I'm not going to do your Zoom, that means when I applied for the role, I would have not been able to create templates, I would have not been able to do the Zoom calls and all those things. So you see, so some things that some people are doing that might look like a disadvantage to you, it's for your good. So that's what I would say about this. And then if you know that you totally are tired of it, instead of just resigning, start applying for other roles. When you apply for those roles, by the time you get it, you can easily leave. So I learned about repurposing jealousy. Thank you so much. I learned how to control my emotions. I learned that my feelings is not someone's fault. So as from today, I stop blaming others about how I feel. One thing that really stuck with me is about emotional intelligence. Repurpose your jealousy or rewire your mind to rejoice with them. Yes, I learned about building relationships and managing my emotions. I learned it is important to set boundaries. I learned about emotional intelligence and how to balance our emotions in our workplace, at home, and in churches. I learned to be emotionally wise in handling all relationships, know how much of myself I show in different relationships. I learned to be emotionally wise in handling relationships. I learned never to burn bridges in the name of setting boundaries. Set boundaries, but keep meaningful relationships alive. Considering where I am now emotionally, I really needed today's session. Thank you so much. So no Photoshop for today's class. There is, so we actually took pictures. I learned to manage my emotions and set positive boundaries. Thank you so much. Thank you. So we're going to take pictures again for those that did not take pictures. I'll just give a short announcement. I think we're done. We've already done this. Please post about what you learned. and tag me. I would like to see it. Fill the testimonials. I would like to see your testimonials, and please understand that the certificates will be given in December to those that fill the testimonials, because that just shows that you want to encourage me, and I need encouragement. The next session will be in March, third week in March. Please use your accountability document, read the books that I sent. It will help you to know what I do, how I do it, and please fill the forms. These are the books. There would be a physical event in October, so please prepare for it, for those that are in Abuja and for those that would love to attend. That is all. Thank you for joining. I think we ended just in time, despite my several examples. So please, if you do not mind, put your videos on and let us take a screenshot. Please post on LinkedIn and tag me if you're on LinkedIn. Post on Instagram and collaborate with me. I'd like to collaborate with you on Instagram. Post on, oh my God, Yemisi is here. You see this Yemisi, she's a big girl. Oh. Follow her everywhere. She has connections. She will help you in your life. She's here. I cannot believe that she's here. Oh my God. Thank you, D Doreen. Thank you, hey, Inumidun. Thank you. Thank you, Viet. You corrected me the last time. Thank you. Thank you for staying. Please take your pictures and share with me. I would love to see them. Put your videos on and take screenshots so that when you post, you can say what you learned and then you can encourage me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. You see, I'm trying to keep to time. This is me putting the boundary. This is me respecting our relationship. This is me just doing my own parts of everything. So thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you for staying till this time. I'm so grateful. I would love to see you in March. And please, my apologies for everyone that was around last week, because I said third week of every month. So some people were actually online last week. Last week was my husband's birthday. I had already drafted the email to send it. And I told myself, is it emotional intelligence to have this program on my husband's birthday? He will tell me yes, but if he tells me yes, that means that is me not using my sense. So I now told myself that no matter how this one is, let me hold my husband first. So that was the reason why I told him, I said, see you, it's on your birthday. He said, oh, if it's my birthday, no problem. I say, hey, now so that they say no problem. When you now do it now, it will not enter from clap to dance. So I now told him, don't worry, I will shift it. So that was my reason for shifting it. But next month is going to be third Sunday. So thank you, everyone. Have a lovely night rest. Thank you. Happy birthday to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So please post about it, put on your status, invite people, post on your Instagram, collaborate with me and all that. Bye, everyone. I'm going to, let me see if I can unmute. I don't know. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? So I can hear you all say bye. Oh my God. Where is the sound? Oh my God. Can you unmute? Can you guys unmute? Is it possible to unmute? Oh. Is it possible to unmute? Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Oh no, we can't. Oh, I'm sorry. I love you all. Sorry. I'm still understanding this. I'm not using my work laptop and this one is somehow. But thank you all for staying till this time. I love you. I love you. I love you. Take care. Bye.